Hello and welcome back. Lumosity. Ah! What is going on? Well, anyway, let's go to, listen to some pleasing music so I don't, to death or, pain. Pain. My voice already hurts. Or rather, more specifically, my throat. It's sore. Oh, man. It's one of those non-commercial things. Oh, gosh. Isaac Albany, we've been through this, haven't we? Yes, we did Austerius yesterday. Wow, was it really yesterday? Whoa, dude, really? OMG. Tommaso Albinoni. Have we done this? I feel like we've probably done Tommaso Albinoni at some point. He's just too famous not to have, you know? So it could very well be that I'm about to miss him. Oh, I did! And Charles Valentin Alkin. I was just reading about him. But what's weird? Oh, no, not one of those things again. Passing you by. Leroy Anderson, the Slayer dude. Yes. The syncopated clock. Oh, yeah, all the favorites. Leroy Anderson was Leroy Jenkins, an American composer of short, light concert pieces, many of which were introduced by the Boston Pops Orchestra under the direction of Arthur Fielder. Fiedler. John Williams described him as one of the great American masters of light orchestral music, and as such, and as performed by Marcus Staub on the piano, we'll be hearing a bunch of it. Oh, well done! Wait! It's under a license? Uh-oh. Am I gonna have to delete this episode now? Oh my. We are free to share. We are free to adapt. Even commercially, purposely. However, we must attribute. We must give appropriate credit. Provide a link to the license. Here it is. There's your link. I think there's also a HTTPS. Oh no, how's it go? ://HTTPS. I don't know what comes after HTTPS. Oh gosh, I don't know. Well, I'm sure you'll figure it out. www.creativecomment.org/licenses/by/3.0 and slash on the end of that. Because why not? Haha. Sorry, I'm talking over the thing. Yeah, but let's have it a bit louder now. Alright, okay, I may have... I want to say I did change it slightly because I'm playing with my speakers, which are then being recorded by the microphone, which is right next to the speakers, 2 microphones, so it should work just like right, but maybe it doesn't. So I mean that's a change. I don't know what that might do, but that is a change, I suppose. So yes, in any reasonable manner. Yes, by telling you about how it was attributed and, changes, like, talking over it. I don't know if that's probably not a change. But yes, this is definitely in a reasonable manner. And did I say, you want to listen to it? You want to listen to the thing? Well, here, I'm going to have to give you attribution to Marcus Staub. And if by the way, if you usurping did not. If they got it wrong, it's not Marcus Stubb. I'm going to get sued. And I'm going to sue them too. I'll take the whole world down with me. Blue Tango is an instrumental written in 1951 and published the following year. It was later turned into a popular song with lyrics by Mitchell Parrish. Numerous artists have since covered it. It's nice. It's nice. Forgotten Dreams. Alright, for this, looks like it's the same kind of license deal. Performed by Marcus Stubb. I would assume he owns all copyrights. Oh, that's nice. Forgotten Dreams is and he does not endorse this video or this usage or anything. I don't even know who he is. At all. Man, that's famous. It's a composition by Leroy Anderson written in 1954 and used in 2006 on the background of a TD advertisement for a phone company. It was previously used as the sign-off theme of KABC TV and the closing theme for Eyewitness News in the 70s. And there you have it, friends. The facts. Yeah, that was back when they used fax. How about that? And to Baghdad today. There's one night. Alright, cool. Oh, what if I went female there, just to mess with you? Oh. But I was just reading that apparently everyone starts out female when they're, in the womb. When they're fetus. Like, probably a young fetus, but still. I just thought that was interesting. I'm feeling great today. Because I was just playing The Witch's House again. Oh, it's been so many years since I played that. No, it hasn't. It's been 1 year. Well, since I completely played it. You don't own games like that, but... Well, I mean, someone does, but not me. The creator owns it. How many hours did I... Bah, I don't remember. And I'm not going to try. I might even be able to play this on the piano. I started playing The Witch's House again because I was just teaching myself how to play the piano, and the first composition that I can play is Op 2 from the way the piano plays itself in The Witch's House. Room 4, floor 4. The halls of music. Funny thing is, I actually prefer Spool of Thread. But, it's just me. Of course, I can't play... I could play on the piano, except it's a little tougher, and it was not originally intended for the piano. Now, the other one, Op 2, is intended for the piano. Interestingly, though, the OGG file, is actually slowed down. In order to, it's actually slowed down a bit from what it would be normally. I thought that's really interesting. I've only seen that another time in the game. You take the file, and somehow it's manipulated to be slower. But not just slower, it's also lower pitched. And anyway, so I can, of course, play that, because it comes out really slow. The OGG file, as well, OGG, it's not, what is it, Vorbis compression, but, OGG is just the container, of course, .ogg. But the file, the original file up to it's kind of fast, it's kind of high pitched. Sounds like a real piano. But now realizing it, comparing the two, I realize the game is slowed down to give it an I guess almost eerie sound to it. It's different from and lower pitched than it should be, and it's especially noticeable in the high keys, which before were vibrating, because you don't have sustain on the high keys, but there should be sustain. You don't have sustain halters. I don't know what you call those normally, but on the On the lower keys you do, but you don't there, so it'd be like someone was holding the sustain pedal of only half the keys being played. So really it'd be like two pianos, unless someone had a incredible ability to hold many keys, which is possible. I mean, the right hand, after all, does not cover more than one key at once being played, unless I transcribed it wrong from, or rather, just wrote transcribed. Is it called transcribing? I just listened to it and well, I don't even know how to read sheet music. I did once. I learned how to play the violin and the xylophone and other percussions. So once I did know, and I still know, but I'm just really bad at it, and I've been too lazy, so I didn't want to do that. But I've taught myself to play it, regardless. So that's interesting, hopefully. But I kind of doubt it is, but I still ram it down your ears, regardless, if you were not smart enough to get out while you could. Anyway, yeah, so that's what I'm teaching myself to do. And it's a very simple piece, and, and there's another time in the game, there's also the other room with the spool of thread, which is the tune that the music box plays. Now, depending on which key you put it into, or whether you don't put a key in it at all, it will play slightly lower pitched, I do believe it is, if you don't insert any key. I guess as if it was winding down. And, I don't think that actually makes sense. It should play slower, which it doesn't. Not lower pitched. So really, the fact that it's not... That's another manifestation of magic. And if you put the king key in it, I suppose you're winding up way too high, and it sounds a little bit higher pitched than the queen key, which is what you're really supposed to put in there. Oh, spoiler alert! I just hinted it in for you. Self-playing piano. Yeah, maybe you can read the walls, and maybe you can't. If you can't, then, I just spoiled you being eaten by a piano. Oh, and I just spoiled it again, in case, you wanted to see what would happen if you tried to play. Oh, I totally just spoiled it. What you had to do to get that? Oh, man. I'm so evil today. Oh, no. Oh, no, I'm sorry. What? It's one of those organs that everyone had at one point. It's true, in the womb. Y'all had those. Y'all did. It's cool, my dudes. Oh, man. I just made it worse, didn't I? I just jumped in the oven. I'm now being ovened alive. It's not a verb. Okay, I guess not. You know what? Oval. Overly. What? It looks just like an oval. It's overly. Hilariousness. So anyway, but I was playing that again, and Sleigh Ride is a popular Christmas standard, written by Anderson in 1948, and first recorded the following year, with little extra added in 1950, which made it an instant hit. After, it'd been written for 2 years, where it was not a hit, I guess. What? I don't even know the lyrics. Yes, I do. Do I have to sing them for you? Oh my gosh. Alright, I will. I won't. There's another time where I've seen that sort of lower manipulation. Of course, another Christmas song that you probably are familiar with was Alvin and the Chipmunks. And, of course, the first one was The Witch Doctor that was featuring them. Spoofings. Spooferys. Yes. I don't know the words. I'm sorry, don't know them. I like the tune though. kind of spat. Spiciness is spindlings. Spin spines. Spin-e? Spin-e's not a word? What? Oh yeah, an Ebb. Another one of my favorite games. These are art games that I really like. My favorite art games. I like what, and you could do. Maybe you wouldn't consider them art games. I consider them art games. Okay. I take it back. Ebb is an art game. I believe it is definitely an art game. Not just because it contains art in it, but if you want to say because it also contains art in it, well, yeah, it does. I would not call the Witch's House, an art game. That doesn't mean I like it any less. I just don't think it's an art game. Does it make sense? Not as much. I could explain why, but that's really beyond the scope of this video. Crow, I would also not consider to be an art game, even though I think it was probably hoping to be at one point, and then it kind of lost track of its, kind of went off the road, crashed horribly. But, Ebb is definitely an art game, and I do believe, I consider Red Rogue to also be an art game. Transitory. Transition. Trap. Trape? I'm gonna trape you! Ooh. So scary. The syncopated clock. I gotta say, this is another one of my favorites. Anderson wrote The Syncopated Clock in 1945. Having been invited by Arthur Fiedler to guest conduct the Boston Pops Orchestra, Anderson wanted to introduce a new work. The idea, the title reportedly predated the work. In a few hours he wrote the music, scored it for orchestra, and then mailed it to Boston Symphony Hall. Fiedler had the orchestra parts copied from the score. The piece was picked as music for The Late Show, becoming a very familiar tune to most Americans. What? I didn't know that. The arrangement requires tempo blocks to be used as the sound of the clock, which is heard throughout the number except for a brief section in the middle. I'm listening. No, there are no tempo blocks. I don't even know what that means, but I don't think there are any, because I don't hear a clock ticking, which is what I usually hear. Fail! No quality playing, non-existent. I do believe that slander was also something that's prohibited in license. So, I take it back, Marky Scab. No hard feelings, right? Oh, and Leroy Anderson. Oh, yeah, yours is still in copyright, too, isn't it? Oh, did you know that, Marcus Stab? Yeah, everything after 1922, it's in copyright in the United States. Oh, fail! Oops. Speed Match Overdrive. Oh, it's not the last one. I had a feeling it wasn't. How could I have not known that was The Late Show? I mean, I kind of felt like it might be, like other people might know it, but I never realized it was The Late Show. Oh, man. Nice dissonance at the end there. Really throws you off. Because it's perfectly coordinated throughout the entire piece, except for that one last bit. And my gosh, I cannot do well. Oh my god. I'm going to go with it. I'm gonna go with it. I'm gonna have a horrible score. I'm gonna face palm myself viciously later. But for now, I'm just gonna suck it up and take it like a man. Anyway, where I was going with that. Oh, I want to know what syncopated was. What's syncopated? No, you don't have to give me the whole bloody thing. I just want syncopated. Displace the beats or accents in music or rhythm, so that strong beats become weak and vice versa. Syncopated dance music. You know, that makes sense. I believe I heard that the entire time. Like typewriter. Oh, I seem to remember this one. It's an instrumental piece by Leroy Anderson, written in written in 1950. Its name refers to the fact that his performance requires a typewriter which is used on stage. Oh, fail! No, yeah, that's more like it. Yeah, 5 stars for the piano playing. 1 star. I'll give you 1 star. You know, 1 star just for effort, but no effort. No typewriter. No typewriter bell. Point off for that. No typewriter. And the code's return mechanism provided a major component of the piece, although Anderson demonstrated a musical group. That's a musical gourd. I'm sorry, I'm breaking down. I'm sorry, I can't stop. I can't avoid laughing here. It's just, gourd is a funny word. You got to admit. Come on, laugh with me. Oh man, I'm crying. that typo. Oh, a musical gourd. Oh wait, that's not a typo. That's an instrument, isn't it? It is, isn't it? I didn't. Oh man, I bet it is. It doesn't say there. I thought that a musical group could use. I thought that's what it was gonna say. Oh, but it says musical gourd. Oh, now joke's on me. Oh, yep, just laugh at me now. Oh, sure. Yeah, laugh at the noob over here. Noob. Instead of a character turn, the typewriter is modified so that only 2 keys work. Although many listeners have suspected that stenographers are enlisted to play the typewriter, Anderson reported that only professional drummers have sufficient wrist flexibility. It has been called one of the wittiest and most clever pieces in the orchestral repertoire. Well, obviously you're forgetting Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. And throw some old names in there for good measure. I forget what they were though. Musical Joke, which was a satire of fails in his of his peers. Yeah, he's a satire of bunch of compositional mistakes and blah de blah. Ah, the waltzing cat. Just like the cat from the witch's house. Not really. Quite a bit less deadly here. This is yet another work by Anderson that has seen something made possible only by the composer's deep understanding of instrumentation used for reproducing lifelike sounds. At the end of Sleigh Ride, for example, we heard a trumpet whine like a weary horse. At the end of the waltzing cat, the strings cleverly depict the cat's meow. The air carpets are a lazy but chipper waltz theme played by the strings, whose use of portamento and keynotes creates the meow effect. The middle section is reminiscent of cartoon music with lots of playful cat and mouse-like action. Tom and Jerry, anyone? Anyone? No? Okay. The main theme returns in all its colourful nonchalance and charming meows in the later half. Close out this charming work. Stop, Marcus Stab. Your complete lack of anything but the metal strings of a piano can almost be made to sound like those of a violin. The way you play them. The way you... Yeah, it's nice. Goodness, very impressive, sir. You know, this almost reminds me of ragtime pieces, music. You know, like a Scott Joplin thing or something. Not necessarily just Scott Joplin, you know, maybe Gottschalk or Debussy or... Well, Debussy? Debussy? Where did Debussy come from? Okay, never mind the Debussy part. Although I didn't think he... I remember reading he composed ragtime. The style of ragtime, but it doesn't seem to fit. And yet, somehow I think it's true, but it doesn't fit. It doesn't fit. There's nothing about that fits one bit at all. Oops. You know, I kind of thought it was here first. And I was kind of like... Yeah, I didn't remember. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3. It helps to remember what the numbers were. If I like keep a picture in my mind of what the numbers were. But oh man, what? Oh, there was no number there. That's where the frog was. Oh, that's not fair. Oh, you bastard! Come on, man. You! Oh my gosh! No! Oh, screw this game. Seriously, I tire of this charade. You know the others suck. Oh, heck no. Fine, Penguin Pursuit. It's been a long time. Let's do it. Plus, I can ramble quite freely in this game. Quite carelessly. I'll go with my left hand for this. The problem is I have to reposition myself a little bit to make it work due to the way I was sitting. It's fine. It's fine. I was leaning on my left arm, and now I just had to move, and it's just complaining ever so slightly. Of course, at least it doesn't have some sort of horrible joint and skin illness. You know, basically rotting from the inside. That would really suck. You know, like what Ellen had. Ellen from the Witch's House. And so we come back to it again. You aren't going to escape me talking about it. It is impossible. Wait, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, wait, Ellen. So, I went back to playing The Witch's House, you know. I went all the way through it. I'm not really sure why. I went to room 4 so I could get a listen for myself without needing to rely on a video, which is ironic, because, you know, it's not like I've got some great thing against Let's Play videos. I make them myself. How could I hate them? And, I don't think I'm going to make a Let's Play of The Witch's House. You request it hard enough, I might. I might even make an audiobook of VG Persons, or Kate's translation of the Diary of Ellen, which is what I found and is what really got me interested, again, in Witch's House. How I found that exactly, I can't remember. I think I was, like, Googling The Witch's House to see, and I found it has a Wikipedia page now, which is good to see. I saw that Eve does not, which saddens me, because I like Eve too. I will, admittedly, The Witch's House is a much more completed story. It is a polished game. It has... I haven't everything I've read so far in the Ellen's Diary, written by Corey. No, not Corey. Fummy. Sorry, Corey did Ebe. Fummy, written by Fummy. You know, the Japanese dude in Japanese, and translated by VG person, or video game person, because, you know, she likes video games. It translated, excellent translations too, I must say, VG person. Gates. They're really, really good. But my favorite line, which I don't know if it translated from Japanese or not. I think she adds some of her own stuff sometimes, but I'm not sure. I just think that you kind of have to, because the jump from Japanese to English, as far as the grammar goes, is a little bit awkward. You know, if you try to get word for word the grammar into English, it just would not work right. The clam in Ebe 1.0.5 introduced there. I know it's in 1.0.7 now, but let's be honest, the last two versions didn't really add a whole lot. Not that I really know. I hadn't played them, just looked at the patch notes. And I saw there. Oh, and we know the VG person also does sometimes changes the game. Like, you know, keeping the number puzzle in the witch's house until 1.07. Yeah, that was something, because it had been deleted in other versions, except it was still in 06. Ha! How about that? So, basically, anyway, VG person, yes, I read the Diary of Ellen. Oh my gosh, yes. It ties together the whole story, you know, just like that guy getting hung, who we know now is, what was his name? XX? Yes, that was his name. XX was his name. He was a good friend. Her first real friend, Ellen's first real friend. And also the third person. And the first to be digested by the house, who we know is also a witch, which is why it never abandons her. You know, because they're friends. Probably real friends, you know. Well, you know, as much, you know, if you can, because the house, it has a human in it, or at least what was a human once, but then became a witch, and then became the spirit of the house. So, that's a little complicated. But, yeah, that makes the witch's house, as controlled by Ellen, very different from other houses. And that's assuming that there are even other houses. But I think there would be. But maybe I'm not. Maybe the demons. Maybe this is the black cat demon, and I guess the his friend the crow. And I love crows. So that made it even better for me. The prominent role that crows play in the story, both in the beginning with the cat, and later. You know, he just ties so much together. Like, you know, why in the end? I was always thinking, why is it at the end, you know, where Viola gets shot by her father? Why is it that she disappears into nothingness? That doesn't make sense, I thought. Why would that happen? And why would it happen only for a little bit time after she's shot? Shouldn't it be instant, you know? If that's what happens when a witch dies. But then, when reading the book, I realized, no, witches don't die from physical mutilation. If she'd gone back in the house, and this was another thing, why she was so weak when she exited the house, Viola, why was she so weak then? It's because the house protects a witch, and what she was then accepted as had to be, because she was, you know, took over the body of a witch. So she was definitely protected by the house, and physically augmented as much as possible, even without legs. When she gets out, though, her spirit is she continues even after she should be dead. And I wondered, why does Ellen try to say she's falling apart? You know, this is something that's interesting on multiple levels. You know, you can only realize the levels God, I haven't even brushed my teeth yet. Oh my gosh, it's so late. I haven't even done that. Whoa, what a fail. I'm gonna put it in anyway. I'm such a douche. Moo, yes. But anyway, I just thought this was the most interesting thing, and I learned in chapter 3. Oh my gosh. This is so interesting. So apparently at the end, yeah, Ellen is trying to break Viola's spirit as was done to her, because that's the only way a witch can die, is if their spirit is broken. Yeah. And, that had almost broken Ellen's spirit. She almost died from that, so she was trying to kill Viola with that, and, but that alone would not work. Viola would not die because she thought her body was falling apart. And, but she would die when she was shot by her father, which you can, and she saw her father accepting someone else as his new daughter. That broke her spirit, as you can imagine. She had tried for the last few hours, you might say, to kill Ellen, and it did not work. But, and that's pretty much, it says she's never gonna win. And she's got nothing else to live for. She just failed. She just failed. Totally fail! And that's why she dies in the end. So she was still alive up to the point where she fades away, being shot twice with a shotgun after being stabbed in the eye, having been drinking throat-burning medicine, after having her legs chopped off, after being subjected to some kind of horrible, unknown illness. What was that, leprosy? What is it, leprosy? This was old. Turns out Ellen is really old. And her body is like centuries old. I thought that was amazing. Which introduces some weird plot holes. I mean, I hadn't read the rest of the book because it was so good I didn't want to read it all in one day. I want to read it over multiple days now because it's so good. I just and so much revelation for one day. I want to spread this out, you know. But I was the grand piano. One thing, if it's really centuries old, and Ellen does mention in her diary of noticing noticing the what is it again? What is Ellen know? Oh yeah, the gun. She notices the invention of the gun, and we're probably talking about Japan. I think we're talking about Japan. I realized that. The guy with the long sword. It could be. First, I thought that was a knight because there's something very Victorian. Witches' houses often are something very Victorian about the house, but yet the talk about the long sword. I mean, the sword could be knight. It could be like a broadsword, but when it goes to the what was it? The gun? Why was it the gun? Why the gun? Why did that make me? I don't know, something about that. Just, because the gun was invented near China. I don't know, maybe not. Maybe it's not related. I just happened to think, yeah, it's just Japan. Let's not lose sight of that. I don't know what it was. Anyway, and I don't know if it's really Japan's story. Just, I digress. But anyway, I thought it was a plot hole that there was, lamps. Most of the time it was torches. But there were lamps by the diary, which is modern technology, which she should not have been able to have, which she would not have had logically. There was, come on. It wasn't leprosy. It wasn't contagious. What was it? It was like measles. It was like chicken pox or something, but worse. No, not because it ate from the inside. Couldn't be chicken pox. What was it? It was some horrible disease. There probably is a name for it. I just don't know what it is. Well, maybe there isn't. Maybe it's just some kind of weird curse. But anyway, the point is, and I know there is something that destroys joints, and those joints were being destroyed, so there's that. But I don't think the joint destroyer also destroys the skin. And I know about the joint thing because I know that Brawly Legs dude has got that. You know, the guy that does really good video games with his mouth, with his with his face. What was it? And his one little finger that he, you know what I'm talking about. Oh, you can stop watching if you want. I'm just gonna keep rambling. The guy that plays Street Fighter. There we go. Anyway, I digress again. So there's also a grand piano. All right, maybe you can say something weird. You know, the lamps. Maybe it was electricity invented by the Egyptian. You know, light bulbs were invented by Edison. But maybe they were aliens or something. Grand piano. That shouldn't be there either. Yeah, I'm afraid so. Because. Yeah. Also, the newspaper article. I just assumed it was a newspaper article. Maybe it wasn't. I thought it was. Well, I think that. Anyway, the book or article, it talks about the residence burning down. The XX. You know, XX/XX. XX residence burns down. XX and his wife down dead. Only daughter, currently 7, found missing. That thing. That seemed to be written in modern style, because I think police is pretty much a modern word. I don't know if maybe that was an oversight. Maybe it was not as clear in the Japanese version. There was an oversight by each person not knowing the full story, because it hadn't been written yet, because Dylan's Diary is only a year old now, and the first translation was much older, and it's just one revised to reflect the change. What else is there? The grand piano, of course. A grand piano. And I mean, it doesn't have a sustaining pedal, so it's not necessarily a 20th century or even late 19th century piano. But it definitely is not a forte piano. It's definitely a pianoforte. Difference: a forte piano has a very low sustain. It's basically in the full name, it comes from full name, which is a harpsichord, does loud and soft. And then we went to soft and loud to distinguish the pianoforte, modern piano, from the and of course I shouldn't really call it a pedal piano, because that would mean it had pedals like an organ which played its own notes. It's more like a piano with pedals, you know, with sustained pedals and such, dampening pedals, you know, that sort of thing, or dimmer pedals, I don't know what it's called. So yeah, the grand piano, if it was really centuries old, you know, if the house basically had to predate the invention of the gun, then it should not have a grand piano in it. Even if you don't count the lamps, I don't know why you wouldn't, but even if you don't count the lamps, there's still that big grand piano, and that should not be there. I'm sorry, I just nerded all over everything, didn't I? Oh, it's just musical nerd stuff everywhere. Oh, I'm sorry. Just plot hole. Maybe it'll be explained, but I don't know how you can explain that, and I doubt the author even noticed that. That's really obscure now. But if you go and go centuries old, and you're not going to put the events of the game way in the future, then you're gonna basically having it way in the past. Yeah, problem, because you got now. You got now. The invention of the gun. Oh man, does that predate the piano? I mean, we had swivel guns that you could load from the rear and which could fire multiple shots. In the 15th century. Okay? You could fire, it was a multi-shot. You could fire it without reloading it, because it kept multiple chambers. I mean, whoa, dude. But I'm sorry, I really digress. I really extended this episode way over the mark where it should have ended already, because the actual Lumosity section of it ended itself. So anyway, I'm going to wrap this episode up by saying thanks for watching. And as I always do, just suddenly, thanks for watching. You know, and it's already over. Of course, I also like to talk about that for a little bit longer, so it's not really wrapped up yet. we simply enter the stage where I begin wrapping up, I suppose you might say, because I have to do this in order to wrap it up. And then comes the word which I sometimes will also repeat, but am not today. Goodbye.